children to your English language class. Once again we are here with videos and assignments for you. You all know that the new academic session has started and you all have moved on to the next class. So once again, welcome to Standard for Children. You have already started attending online classes. Most of you are ready and you have bought your books and notebooks, but there are still some children who have not bought your books and copies. So I want everyone to buy the books and copies and be ready soon, so that you don't miss your assignments and you don't miss your classes. Children, we are still fighting against COVID-19, you know that, and you need to take precautions at home. Don't become lazy. Please keep obeying your parents and keep attending the classes, keep watching the videos so that you don't miss anything and you don't have problem when you move on to the next class. Otherwise, you'll have a very weak base if you're not serious with your studies. Okay, children? So, let's come to a new lesson. In the last online class, I taught you about sentences and kinds of sentences. Let's have a short recap of that. You learned that there are 4 kinds of sentences, that is statements, questions, commands and exclamatory sentences. Today we are going to learn about subject and predicate. That is, we are going to learn about parts of a sentence today. Before we come to the topic, I would like to ask you something. Children, you know, it is fun riding a bicycle. But is it possible to ride a bicycle with one wheel? No. To ride a bicycle, we need 2 wheels. In the same way, a sentence has 2 parts. A sentence is not complete if we either have a subject or a predicate. We need to have both in a sentence. So please look on the board as I explain you this lesson, this chapter, and please concentrate, children. A sentence has 2 parts, the subject and the predicate. Let's learn about the subject first. So let's look at the subject wheel here. This is the who, what or noun in the sentence. It tells us who is doing the action in the sentence. It is usually at the beginning of the sentence. When I say Ram is running on the road, I am talking about the noun Ram. So Ram is the subject in this sentence. Okay? Now look at the predicate wheel. This is the verb in a sentence. It tells us what the subject is doing. It is usually the second part of the sentence. So when I say Ram is running on the road, you know that Ram is the subject. But what is Ram doing? Is running on the road. So is running on the road is the predicate. Okay, children? I hope you're clear till here whatever I have taught you. Children, whenever you make a sentence, you keep a recipe in mind. See, when you make Maggie at home, you have a recipe for that. And you have some ingredients which you need to make Maggie, and you also have a process how to make Maggie. For example, when you want to make Maggie, you need Maggie, you need some Maggie masala, water and so on. And the processes that you have to put on the stove, put water in the pan, and then you open the packet of Maggie and put that Maggie and the Maggie masala. You wait for 2 to 3 minutes and the Maggie is done. In the same way, whenever you make a sentence, keep this recipe in mind which I am going to show you, and please concentrate as I explain to you. Recipe for making a complete sentence. These are the ingredients which you need to make a sentence. Capital letter, naming part, that is the subject, stating the rest of the sentence, that is the predicate, and punctuation mark. And what is the process? Start with a capital letter. Always when you make a sentence, you need to start the sentence with a capital letter. The second thing, combine the subject and the predicate. Use the punctuation mark. If it is a statement, you start with a capital letter and end with a full stop. If it is a question, you start with a capital letter, end with a question mark. If it's an exclamatory sentence, you start with a capital letter and end with an exclamation mark. And garnish with creativity. You need a lot of creativity whenever you're making a sentence, and always serve with neat handwriting. Keep your handwriting in mind whenever you're writing a sentence, or whenever you're writing anything. Okay children, I hope this much is clear. You'll keep this in your mind. Children, now let's do this exercise on the board. This exercise is exercise A from your Joyful Learning book on page 8. Circle the subject and underline the predicate. Number 1, my mother made dinner for the guests. Here my mother is the subject because we are talking about my mother. So let's circle my mother. Made dinner for the guests is the predicate. So let's underline this. Number 2, the canteen is closed on Saturdays. So we are talking about the canteen. So the canteen is the subject. So let's again circle this and underline the predicate, that is closed on Saturdays. Number 3, the train halted at every station. Here the train is the subject. Halted at every station is the predicate. So let's underline this. Now number 4, you must revise the work done in class. So we are talking about you. So you is the subject. Must revise the work done in class is the predicate. So let's underline this. Number 5, the birds were very unhappy in the cage. So the birds is the subject. Were very unhappy in the cage is the predicate. Number 6, Roy is a good football player. So Roy is the subject. Is a good football player is the predicate. Number 7, Mrs. Lal takes spelling tests every Friday. So we are talking about Mrs. Lal. So Mrs. Lal is the subject. Takes spelling tests every Friday is the predicate. So let's underline this. Number 8, the mall is full of security guards. We are talking about the mall. So the mall is the subject. Is full of security guards is the predicate. Number 9, the cake was decorated with icing and strawberries. So here the cake is the subject. was decorated with icing and strawberries is the predicate. Number 10. The soldiers marched past the army camp. Here the soldiers is the subject. Marched past the army camp is the predicate. I hope this exercise is clear, children. Please do it in your Joyful Learning book. Now children, let's do exercise C from page 8 of your Joyful Learning book. Here are some plant facts. Let's match the subjects with the suitable predicates to make meaningful sentences. Okay? And you can do it in your book also after I explain it to you. The first one is the roots. So it goes with the roots absorb water and minerals. So we're going to join this with this one and write the sentence. The roots absorb water and minerals. Okay? Now the second one. The flowers. This goes with the flowers attract insects. So we are going to write the second sentence. The flowers attract the insects. You can say is the, because we have a vowel here, so this is pronounced as the insects. Okay. Now we have the next one, that is the stems. It goes with the stems bear leaves. So we write the stems bear leaves. Now the fourth one, that is the leaves. Now we can say the leaves make food for the plant. So we can write the subject goes with that predicate. The leaves make food for the plant. Now the last one, that is number 5, the fruits. It goes with the predicate. The fruits contain the seeds. So we write here the fruits contain the seeds. Okay children, I hope this chapter, this lesson, this topic is clear to you. Please go through this video 2 to 3 times and please complete your assignments which we are giving you every now and then, whether we give it to you during online classes or we are posting it or we are giving along with the videos. Please try to complete it on time. Okay children, that's all for today. Thank you and have a nice time.